When I, 23 meters, was 15 my dad died. My mom, 45, didn't wait too long to start over and moved her new partner in just 2 months later. My dad left everything to me and not even a dime to her. They were not married. My dad's will was so structured that she couldn't challenge it, and she attempted and even asked me to pass over one of my properties to her to show my new dad that he was welcomed. I couldn't even if I wanted to, because my dad's will was specified that I must be 21 to have access to everything he left me. This dude had kids, 18 meters, 19 at their ages now, and my mom prioritized them to keep him happy. I mean, she wasn't like AB***SIVE or neglectful, but she tended to favor them. They went on trips, and even if she didn't tell me not to go, she'd say something between the lines as, "Wouldn't you like to go to your grandparents? My dad's better." I mean, I'm not stupid, and I know she didn't want me there. When I turned 17 she asked me to leave my own house because I kept fighting with her dude, and I also reminded him of whose house it was when he wanted to play the man of the house. I also called him John Conroy. My grandparents told me to avoid confrontation, so I went to live with them. My mom would visit me often and tell me how much she loved, but she needed to keep peace at home after college. I decided to check my properties, and also the one that my mom is living at. I wanted to renovate it to rent it, since it's a good one and can help me to afford my masters. I went there to inform my mom, but no one was there. Later I found out they went on vacations. I called her, but she didn't answer, so I proceeded to change the locks, mainly to officially take possession. They arrived yesterday and could get in, of course. They called me, but I wasn't on the town. I went today because some renovation works will start in few weeks. I was in the backyard and my mom came in furious, yelling at me, saying how I dare to do that. So we talked, and I let them know they have 2 weeks to leave. Her husband, an self-employed, was furious. My mom and her stepdaughter started crying because the girl is pregnant. I'm sorry, but I made up my mind. My mom's family is shaming me, but I'd like to know if you think I'm tar. My mom called me today saying we can talk. Edit. I'm not in the USA. Not really looking for legal advice. Guys, life out of the USA exists. There are the 194 countries in the world. NTA, because as a minor you were kicked out of your own house and made a secondary priority. As an adult you're now doing what you couldn't do then. Make sure you're doing everything legally so they can't make things harder on you. I'm wondering if your father knew something and that's why you got everything. This is the correct answer. NTA. NTA, but I definitely look into making sure you're handling this the best way legally. This is great advice. Like op may moral be NTA, but legally he may be on the hook, since legality doesn't always have to do with whether someone is in the right morally or not. She tended to favor them. They went on trips, and even if she didn't tell me not to go, she'd say something between the lines as, "Wouldn't you like to go to your grandparents? My dad's better." I mean, I'm not stupid, and I know she didn't want me there. When I turned 17 she asked me to leave my own house because I kept fighting with her dude, and I also reminded him of whose house it was when he wanted to play the man of the house. I also called him John Conroy. I hate to tell this, but what do you mean she wasn't abusive? That S*** is abuse. You changing the house locks is simply her reaping what she sowed. NTA edit. I never expected this to blow up. Thanks for the award. Thank you for making this point. Abuse isn't always physical, and it seems like Op went through a lot of neglect and emotional abuse before moving out for good and turning 21. NTA. They basically forced you out of your own house, you just returned the favor. NTA. From the sounds of it your grandparents and your uncle handled everything in your name as a minor, and you legally took care of everything the moment you could so as to prevent them claiming it. You are not responsible for your under 21 stepsister being pregnant. You are not obligated to house them or gift them a house. They chose to exclude you from the family starting at 15. You have the right to use your inheritance as you see fit. And you legally took care of everything the moment you could so as to prevent them claiming it. Oh yeah, they helped me a lot. You may want a lawyer. They are your tenants and there are laws and procedures which have to be followed to evict them. They vary by local area. Are you the asshole? A bit. Not for deciding to kick them out, but for changing the locks on them without warning. He did try to warn them, and can they be considered as tenant, since they never paid rent, and forced him out of the place? Squatters maybe, but not tenant. NTA. She asked you to leave, as a kid whose dad died, so that *SHE* could have her chance at happy ever after bullshit, while defending a new boyfriend and his alien children to the extent that **YOU** had to leave your home, and were simply lucky enough to have your grandparents instead of the streets. I can't stand behind one person trying to say you were wrong here. She discarded you, and you still let them all back in with serious necessary rules and boundaries. Usurious gross unacceptable behavior from a mother to allow into your early adulthood. I'm so sorry for your loss and your stress. It always disgusts me when there's always those few people on every post that will always defend a woman's actions. No matter how abusive or shitty they are, people will find some narrative, excuse or justification. It's gross and cruel. NTA, please post an update so we know how all this turned out. So you were never a priority to your mother after she moved on and now she isn't one to you? Balances out, I'd say. Plus, you have no obligations whatsoever towards her husband and his children. NTA. Edit. As others have also noticed, the fact that your father made a preemptive strike towards your mother in his will is suspicious enough. As in, he knew your mother would want to control whatever assets he left to you. This makes you even less of an asshole, and this situation didn't make you one to begin with. Overall, definitely NTA. Would it have been nice if you waited until they returned to change the locks? Yeah, probably. But it probably also would have been nice if she didn't choose her new family over you. Karma's a B******, I guess. NTA. Your mom should have seen this coming a long time ago. She kicked you out of your house that you own and were paying the property taxes on. I'm firmly on the side of people leaving their property to their children when they have pre-relationship property or separated from the other relationship member, i.e. your mom didn't pay for the property because of this exact issue. If your father left her the house, guess what? It would go straight to that other dude's kids. That's not what your dad wanted. Your mom got a free house for years. No rent. No mortgage. No property taxes. That's why her dude can be lazy and not work. Your dad did the right thing. Of course people can leave things to their kids over their spouses. That's frequently how it works with family property, or it would also be lost. You can put a clause in wills that a spouse can stay in a property until death. Clearly your father wasn't interested. Considering your mom moved the dude in 2 months after he passed, I bet it's because she was cheating. They also weren't married. That does affect things. NTA, I thought that all things considered, you played that in a mature fashion. Sorry, but I'm pretty sure her fella was waiting in the sidelines because 2 months after your dad passing. NTA. Your father obviously knew what kind of person your mother is and made sure she couldn't drop you off with grandparents and not provide for yourself when you came of age. It's not your fault your stepsister is pregnant, and they should have been looking for a way to either purchase the home from you or finding their own home. Tell them to piss off. NTA, and Q. On the John Conroy reference. NTA, she threw you out of your home that she knew she didn't own and had no legal right to be in. She's had years of notice and living rent free. NTA, you need to protect your assets and make a future for yourself. She clearly has not wanted you in her life for years. Move on without her and her family. NTA. Your house, your rules. She tried to steal it from you in the past. Now she has to pay the price. NTA. They chose their side of things. Also amazing power move. Would honestly like to read more. NTA. They stole the house from you, and your mother chose her new family over you. Even went as far as to try and steal your inheritance. Don't relent and give in. She asked you to leave your own house at 17 and even excluded you from family trips. You owe them nothing. They don't consider you family clearly. Don't let them leech off you. Edit and ignore the ita comments. I can't fathom how they got to this conclusion. Who kicks out a 17-year-old for their new family after said child lost their father too? So sad. Sorry op, you've gone through this. Please don't feel like you owe the men a thing. You deserve to be loved, not be a cash cow. I have sat and read a lot of the ETA comments and they are trying to sympathize with the mother and twist the story up road, trying to say maybe she was a stay-at-home mother, or broke, or trying to fill the void of losing the dad. To me it's all bullshit, because she knew what she did, and she abandoned her only child, to be with her lover she cheated on her dying baby daddy with. She is cold-hearted and Op sees that.